I'm not surprised that we're sitting here at 4-6, but I am surprised how we've gotten here. What happened on Sunday? Let's start with the defense. Deshaun Watson picked apart the Patriots.
Yeah, Nick. In short, I'm not really sure. I
You're stumped.
I am, and to be honest, this happens from time to time. Not very much usually on the defensive side of the ball, but after watching the defensive game film, I was pretty depressed. I was, and I'll tell you why. It was because the Patriots just came in with they didn't look like they came in with a plan. I mean, I really questioned what they worked on all week in practice, because really what I saw was I had them down for like 12, 13 three-man rushes. I only had them for 3 blitzes the whole game. So how much do you have to work on if you're just going to rush 3? I didn't see a whole lot of like designer trap coverages and things like that. Like I don't understand how you go from, so a week ago, the Patriots come out with what was obviously a great game plan defensively. They came out with, we're gonna attack the edges hard. We're gonna have double hangers on the outside to basically reinforce the edges, that we're gonna make Lamar Jackson beat us in a telephone booth. Like, he's gonna have to do it between the numbers, and we're gonna make him pass and all that stuff. And so we go from that to this. Like, so basically, I'm trying to imagine what Bill Belichick was saying in the defensive meeting last week. Like, basically what? Well, Lamar Jackson couldn't pass last week, but Deshaun Watson is just so good, so we're not going to do anything this week. Like, what? I just don't understand it. It was just, they looked like they gave up. I thought that the players at times were uninspired by the game plan.
Really?
And the thing is if you do the 3 and 4 man rushes, and now you're asking your guys in the back end, and we've talked about this before this year about like, you know, the need of a pass rush to help the secondary. Like, you can't ask these guys to cover for 3.5, sometimes 7 seconds. I mean, there was one from, I think, about the 9-yard line. Now you have a compressed red zone that you're defending. No, in that situation, everything's supposed to happen faster.
Right.
And what happens? Deshaun Watson had like 4.5 seconds to find Kiki Kuti in the back of the end zone. Jonathan Jones or whoever has to cover him from this side of the field all the way to the other side. Then he gets to stop and come back. Like, that's not fair. That's not fair to the players on this team. Like, that is not a plan. And it was not a plan on Sunday. I don't know what that was. They look like an aging heavyweight, like Larry Holmes or Jerry Cooney, who's just looking for one last paycheck. And basically they were hoping to land one punch. They were hoping for a turnover at some point. And they thought just the plan was Deshaun Watson is going to, I don't know, be off once and throw it to us. And that's going to be the difference in the game. That's no plan. I'm sorry. That's pathetic, and it's no plan.
I was going to ask, like, so what is it? I mean, there has to be a reason why they played the way they played. And you and I obviously don't know that reason. Maybe Belichick said to himself, listen, there's no good way to attack this offense. There's no good way to attack Deshaun Watson. So maybe if we try to force him to be patient and make plays, extending them, maybe we'll get him to make a mistake or two. But as you said, you go through that first half, Greg, and what's mystifying is you watch that first half and you're saying, if this continues, the Patriots are not going to be able to stop this offense. Now, I think they did do a slightly better job in the second half of slowing the offense down. But going into that second half, you figured at halftime, Belichick and his minions would say, okay, here's what we got to do. We've got to put more pressure on Deshaun Watson. We've got to throw a couple of blitzes at him. We've got to do something to try to rattle this guy in the pocket. And they really didn't show any of that. And so I have to imagine that Belichick said, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. We might as well just kind of stay back, hope that our secondary plays out of their minds, and maybe Watson will make a mistake. That's the only thing that I could imagine why you would walk into Sunday with that game plan, if you want to call it that. I feel like Belichick and his staff were almost stuck in the middle, and they didn't really know which way to go. And so they just said, okay, we're going to kind of lay back and let this thing evolve, and hopefully he makes a mistake. And he didn't make a mistake. Watson played out of his mind. And yeah, I mean, it looked bad across the board. I will say the one thing, the one silver lining is that 2 weeks in a row, you've seen this defense do a good job against the run. I think that's the good part of what we've seen. If you want to take anything out of, that game on Sunday and try to take a positive from it, because let's be honest, it was a crap sandwich. Most of it was awful. But if you're going to take something out of it, at least for the second straight week, they slowed down the run game, which is something you can build on going forward. But overall, I have no idea what was going on.